Let me see. We are live. It's the Lynn Serrano Show. I'm Lynn Serrano.
Yeah, we are live, and I'm Sheryl Isenhour trying to cut the phone off so it's not live also.
All right, we'll be right back after this. Well, we're back today, and we didn't have a specific topic, and we're just chit chatting, and I think we're just going to chit chat about all that's going on right now, including the fact that Sheryl won't be here next Wednesday.
Some of us have to go to conventions.
Yeah,
Not a bad thing. It's there. It's something. It's one that I've been going to for many, many years. A lot of old acquaintances there. Older. We're not old yet, just older.
More mature people. So, and my hair is a little green today, but that's okay. Green with envy, I guess. I don't know. But what's cool about that is that you're looking forward to seeing people you haven't seen in a while and catching up.
Yeah.
And it's nice in real time, right? Because I mean, probably some of the people you haven't seen at least 3 years, right?
No, I see them every year.
Oh, do you? Okay, even through
except for the year of COVID.
Okay, all right. Well, then that's cool. That's really good. Oh, we got Mr. Jerry, who's very hard at work. I seen him all set up, and hello from Maryland today. And so, well, that's exciting. Where is your convention going to be at?
Mohegan Sun, Connecticut.
Connecticut. Oh, okay. So you got a little travel to do. And so, yeah, next week we'll have Debbie Bettendorf, and we're going to have also this John Horton with us, and he's a mortgage guy. He's got like a DJ kind of voice and whatnot. He's really, Debbie's interviewed him, and he's really nice guy. So we're just going to shoot the breeze and figure some topics out and fill in for you while you're gone next week. I'm going to miss you next week already. So, and then last night I got news that my granddaughter, she's 9 years old. She's been cheerleading, I think 3-4 years now, but she got the bid and she's going to the world competition in Orlando in May. So we're going to have to do some quick fundraising. My daughter is like, last couple years, she hasn't gone. And she just came back from Reno, Nevada from a national competition, and they got second, and they got the bid last night. So it's pedal to the metal, and my dad only lives an hour away from there. So what'll be nice is my dad will get to see his great grandkids for the first time.
That'll be
so. Yeah, my oldest grandson is 13, and then she's 9. So it'll be nice for him to see her. So that's going to be exciting. But now we're all just wrestling around, going to have to get plane tickets and figure everything out. So
chill.
Yeah. And
you're gonna get there, and you're gonna be so stressed out you won't know.
No, actually, what's going to be nice? What's going to be nice is I'm not going to the competitions. That's too much for my knees and all that stuff. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get to be with my grandson to spend time with my dad and my brother. So I'm not going to that other part. No, I can see a little video of her competing. That'll be fine. But and then the other great thing is I'm on baby alert. I've got my middle daughter who's going to have a baby like anytime now till they're going to induce her on Saturday. So I'm waiting for my grandson to show up anytime. So, life's just crazy and fun. And I'm glad Bob's here. I always appreciate Bob showing up too. And so, so it's just a crazy time in my little world over here. And, it just, in an instant, you'll be back from your vacation. The baby will be born and probably be back from Florida. And it'll just be like, boom, like nothing ever happened.
Hey, it'll be poop, and it'll be in history before long. So, hey, and it hasn't begun. I mean, we're still cold here.
Yeah. So this is a spring thing that you always do to this one specific convention.
Yeah, it's basically the same time every year, and it's it's a really neat thing to go. I enjoyed when I started going, and I really enjoy it now. Enjoying to see the younger people as they come in, and miss the older people as they go out. A lot of them don't make it anymore, but it's really nice to go to. It's that camaraderie that you don't get with new people, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. Now, are you speaking or lecturing at this one?
Jerry and I both are.
Are you? Well, good.
He's
Good.
doing 2 classes and I'm doing 1.
Good. Well, you're
We're
all
gonna, I'm going to teach customer service reps how to understand what disc letter you fall under while they're on the phone. So it's not personal, so they can talk to them the way they want to be talked to on the phone. And people, they don't realize that they think disc is just face to face. It's phone, it's email. So I'm working with the CSRs for that.
So you're going to be able to teach them that when they're, depending on how a person talks to them, they're going to be able to assess how they need to be talked to.
Correct.
Isn't that really cool? So I should pick your brain right now on that. It's just and how in the is it going to be the way they ask them a question that they'll know by their response, or
their responses come back, the tone in their voice, the speed of their voice. If they ask a question, if they asked 1,000 questions, if they asked real bullet pointing questions, like Heidi's very bullet pointed, what day, what time.
Oh, okay.
It's just the way they do it. And then as you move into different things, they're nice about it. And what time do you think it might be? But if you can pick somebody up in the first 30 seconds of talking to them, and you can change your voice to meet theirs, because I have to be careful. Well, I'm a high D. If I'm talking to another letter, I've got to slow it down like I have now. I slow it down for this because there's not that many out there. If I talk at my own speed, they'd have done cut this program off a long time ago.
Yeah, that makes sense. But that's a very that's a fine thing to learn just in regular life.
It is. It really is. And people don't realize it. And you can tell from emails also. So, yeah, one day we'll have to really get a little more in depth into that. But it's amazing what a person, you don't have to see a person to know a little bit about them.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So I know you did that a lot with me when we first talked. I think you're this, I think you're that. And then I took the test. You're like, well, I'm kind of surprised this and that. But it's pretty close though, and it's pretty accurate though. So I know you've been teaching it for how many years now? Quite a few.
More than we need to talk about.
So in other words, it comes with experience, right?
And that's it. It's all practice. It's, and I've got to, when I teach someone like the CSRs, they've got to realize they're not going to do it on that first phone call. It takes practice. And you got your crypt notes, you know what, but you can't sit there and read them all the time. So it just takes a lot of practice, and you key in. You can key in very quickly if you get used to it. If you don't, you can be way off the board. But
I would love to sit there and hear you with a conference phone, and you have your flashcards and people are talking and you're like, C, D, that's a D, that's a B, that's a C. I'm like,
I've done stuff like that because it's just, the thing about it is if you do it, especially when like you go on your programs where you got 15, 20 people, it's really nice to know where they sit.
right.
And the reason that's so nice is because if you're talking to Debbie, if you're making the point go to Debbie, even though you're talking to everyone, you want to talk in Debbie's language.
Right.
If you want it to go to Bob, if Bob happens to be on one with you, you don't want it to be generic. You want everybody to hear it, but you want it to be in Bob's words because you want Bob to definitely hear it.
Yeah. And you see, I think that's what we forget is there's just so many different ways of communicating.
Mm-hmm.
And some half of that's the problem, is the communication is not there. It's totally disconnected.
I'm in everything I say, 95% of every problem can be fixed with communication.
Yeah. And I think if people would stop from being angry and say, okay, wait a second, how I'm mad because of this. And you're like, really? You're mad about that, but I'm mad about this. I mean, I think there would be so many more solutions if
Mhm.
people would see that they're arguing or upset about two different things.
And we had hit on the sense before we came on, the sensitive people.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about it. We all decided people are more sensitive now than they used to be.
And that's a sensitive topic, but yes.
And I don't care. I'm a D. I can not care. Okay, let's go there. I do care, but I don't.
Yeah, I get you.
But the thing about it is, you have to talk to someone that is sensitive, definitely in their language,
Mhm.
or you've lost them, and
Right.
they get angry.
Mhm.
And the thing about it is we discussed it. It gets stronger as the years go on, because we weren't allowed to be sensitive. That's part of it.
Right.
It's a lot of it is we set ourselves up for failure with these people, whether they're sensitive, whether they're angry, whether on and on and on. You set yourself up for failure with these people because you're speaking in your language, not theirs.
Mhm. Yeah, and it just, people don't understand there's so many people that are cut out different. We're all cut out different, but we're all the same. It's just a different, depending on the traumas and the things you've gone through in your house and your life, that's how, it becomes sensitive or this or that. Or, you're stuck in those traumatic places that you cannot see anybody else but somebody that's against you, not for you. And so the best thing you can do is just to learn some of these communication skills. That's why neurolinguistic programming, NLP, is a good one to know too. And so it's just, there's so many different ways to communicate with people, and people don't get that. They're so into how they understand. And that's where some people go, well, it makes no sense. It's common sense. But common sense isn't common sense if you don't know what you
Common
defy
sense
as.
is.
Yeah, right. If you don't defy what common sense is, because some people would see, like traditions, like American traditions, as opposed to somebody in a different country. We have different traditions. And so if you do certain things, you can offend somebody from another country because they don't do it that way.
Well, actually, at least when you're looking at another country, you know the nuances of the country. If you've done any background before you
Right.
get there, you know the nuances. But just as we have different personalities, their personalities are the same as ours. The disc is done across the world.
Right.
And so personality is personality. So you can still, if you can get that communication going, then you can learn what their culture is.
Yeah. Hello, John Horton. He'll be on this show the next week with us. So looking forward to having you here, John. Thanks for tuning in now. So yeah, I think we'll have to dig in more into the DISC assessment, because that really is a tool that can help a lot of people.
Well,
Um,
it helps you, but it helps the other person, because there's nothing any worse than somebody speaking. I'm going to use speaking in the language you don't understand, and you don't hear it, because
right,
what we do, you tune it out. You
right.
really don't hear it if that's not what you want to hear.
Well, and then, like I'm Puerto Rican, I speak Spanish, but when I speak to Spanish people out here in Montana, they're Mexican, and their dialect and their terms are different than my terms.
Mhm.
And so it's just, just like you got people from British, that are English, that their English is different than our English.
Go to
And so,
Europe. There's
yeah,
so many dialects over there. When I went over, I learned I taught myself High German. Well, High German's only good for about a 50-mile radius, and then you are screwed. But so, It was fun. I knew enough. We got, between Jerry and I, we knew enough that we got around, but it was fun. I enjoyed not knowing the language in a way,
Yeah.
because a lot of you got to know a person. The funny thing, nobody knows what anybody's saying. All you've got to deal with is what you see.
Yeah. Right.
And
Sometimes you're like, telefono, phone. And you're like, what about the phone? Do you want me to call ET? What do you want me to do? Like it's just like you said, there's all symbolisms, and yet, the communication is
this right
something.
here is always the same.
Mhm.
The facial expressions are the same in every country.
That's true.
Angry's angry, happy's happy. So
Yeah. Well, and they have some universal things now too. Like if you notice your labels on your clothes, they show a washing machine. They show, the little different, a little person and all that. They go with pictures. You know, like the skirt on for a female. The bathroom and that kind of thing. So it is something of trying to find different forms of communication, without a doubt. So
they've done pretty good jobs on it. Again, we just need to work on our personal verbal communication.
yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, any parting words for today? And I'm going to miss you next week.
Miss you too.
Have a
No,
great time.
miss me away. I'll try to sign. If I'm not into something, I'll sign in and see what's going on.
That's awesome. Yeah, because it may cause a little mayhem while you're gone.
I like to know what you say while you're saying it. Um,
I love you, Sheryl. I want you to have a safe trip, and I look forward to seeing you the following week.
well, you guys have fun.
Thank you. Love you.
Love you
Bye,
too.
everybody. Thanks for stopping by and just listening us rant as we always do. So have a good one. Bye.